Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers. On the broadcast today, men's rights attorney Marilyn York for the whole show on an all-new Nevada Newsmakers. 40 years ago, Hotel California and the theme from Rocky were #1 on the pop charts, and DND Roofing and Sheet Metal started on the road to becoming Nevada's leading roofing company.
I couldn't be more proud of what we've achieved.
And over these 40 years, we've become an employee-owned company. So when you're talking to any employee, you're talking to an owner.
And here's to the next 40 years.
Happy 40th birthday, DND Roofing and Sheet Metal.
Retail's impact on Nevada's economy? Enormous. 8,600 businesses, large and small, employing 145,000 workers. And last fiscal year, retail paid tax on nearly $60 billion in sales. We're the Retail Association of Nevada. We support retail, we help it grow, and we mean business.
RANNV.org.
Pro Group Management specializes in providing industries with the necessary components to satisfy and exceed workers' comp requirements. Every business has unique needs and specific regulations. Pro Group Management stays ahead of the curve, providing up-to-date services to keep your industry in top form. Discover how we simplify your tasks, improve efficiency, and reduce expense to keep you moving in a positive direction. Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
Truck drivers are some of the hardest working people you'll meet, delivering over 70% of America's freight and 92% of Nevada's. When there's a natural disaster, they're delivering critical supplies to help those communities recover and rebuild. Every sector of the economy and our nation's military rely on truck drivers. So let's take a moment to say thank you. On the open road or city streets, our truck drivers are rolling to make our economy and our nation stronger. Trucking moves America forward.
Aherne Rentals began as Signal Gas Station on Las Vegas Boulevard. Founder John Aherne grew the business by offering rentals. His son Don built on John's legacy, growing Aherne Rentals into the largest independently owned American rental company, with 89 locations in 30 states. Don also brought his experience and vision to equipment manufacturing with Extreme Manufacturing and Snorkel. Today, Aherne Rentals continues to bring its family values to a new generation. Learn more at aherne.com.
This is Nevada Newsmakers with host Sam Shad, a no-holds-barred political forum. Now, from the Nevada Newsmakers broadcast headquarters, here is Sam Shad.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we're always delighted to welcome back to the program Marilyn York. She is the men's rights attorney. It's a pleasure to have you back on the program.
Thank you. It's always my pleasure to be here.
Let's start out with, I'm going to throw out some names, and I want you to give your opinion, not politically, but your thoughts on the people as people. Okay. So
if I can, I will.
Yeah, we've talked about the president. We'll get to him a little bit later. But let's start out with some of the Democratic candidates. How does Elizabeth Warren strike you?
You know, I'm not politically savvy, so I spend not
No,
much.
I'm not asking you politically.
No,
I'm asking because people walk into your office and you size them up. You size them up immediately, whether they're men or women. That's what you do for a living. That's the basis of what you do.
It's too soon for me to say about her. I need to see more because I don't pay enough attention to have formulated a good opinion yet.
Okay, Kamala Harris.
I mean, I really am not paying enough attention to say for any certainty what's going on.
Okay, so there's no Democrats. I mean, for example, let's go to Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders. When you look at the age of these candidates, does that matter in today's world?
It absolutely matters. It's good in a lot of ways because I think long-term experience is really wonderful, and I think people have a more practical view of the world at some point, but it's a concern too. I mean, you lose your sharp edge at some point, you lose your ability to be witty, maybe you've had too much life experience. We're all colored by, incidences in our life, traumas, victories. The more you have, the more you're colored. I don't feel like you see the world unbiased anymore. You lose I've already lost some of my, thrill that I had as a kid. I'm gonna change the world, my job's so important, it really matters. At 43, I'm already at the place where I'm like, it doesn't matter that much. It's really not gonna change the world. I'm not changing people's lives like I thought I was. And I've seen that a lot, where people get older and they get jaded and they also, kind of honed down what's really important. It's their actual immediate family, hopefully, not the world. They're not going to change the world anymore. And we need people that really want to change the world at the top of the food chain.
Well, and one of the things I always tell people is that there's a difference between running for office and actually governing. And so, you know, there's a front that's put up. We're taping this the morning after the most recent Democratic debate. And it's fascinating because the Democratic Party is now attacking each other in terms of, you know, you have all these dream ideas that you want to run on, but they're not practical. So it's almost like there's a battle going on over who can either give the most or who's being the most unreasonable in what their expectations are.
Well, and I've seen a trend locally because I run a homeless girls' home locally. You know, affordable housing and homeless youth and homelessness is a huge topic, but our community does not want change. They say they do, but I happen to run one of the charities that has absolute outcomes that we track, and we are having trouble getting funding. They're funding the cute stuff, the stuff that's popular on Facebook, the stuff that gets them notoriety. We're a community that gives backpacks to 2,000 kids who don't have a home at night thinking we're making a difference. We like light touches that we can put a smile behind and be on Facebook for, but we aren't actually supporting as a community real change. And so I don't have much confidence that the bigger picture is doing it either. We're a selfie, universe these days. Do we look good on a selfie? Have we filtered it 19 ways from Sunday and made our eyes look bigger? That's who we've become as public. And so now we're, putting people in office that look good in a selfie, and we aren't really digging beneath and figuring out who's really going to change anybody or anything.
And part of the problem there is that even though we have 1,000% more media than we had, say, 20 years ago, the depth of coverage is far less.
It is, and it's confusing. It's confusing to the public. I'd like to think people care about which charities are really making change happen. Similarly, let's take the legal world, my world. There's all these new young attorneys with these flashy websites and these pretty faces that are just advertising everything, and I happen to know each and every one of them and can tell you the vast majority are not yet competent at their job. They aren't sober when they go to court. They aren't people that even care or know what they're doing, but because people see their pretty little face, they keep hiring them. And it's not the public's fault. How could they know any better? But it's traumatic to see what they're doing to these cases. I mean, these are things that cannot be undone. This is your children and your livelihood that you're putting in the hands of people that might be, $50 an hour less, and they're trying to save money, or they just heard from somebody that they're good. It's confusing. I don't know how to filter through all that and find the meat of who really matters, and it seems like when people are told, they aren't listening. And when they watch the outcomes be tracked in court, in their family life, in the political world, in charity, they aren't listening. They aren't putting their money behind what they say is important to them.
So what you're really bringing up is the fact, and it's been a fact for a long, long time,
for sure,
that marketing is king. That if you put a message out there, people do not have the time, energy, or disposition to investigate, and therefore they take the superficial over the substantive. Now, in your case, you're marketing in a humorous way,
sure,
but you also have great experience, and certainly people who have either been your clients or people you have opposed will certainly testify to your abilities, which are excellent.
I hope.
But the point is that what you're saying is correct too, which is somebody who's completely incompetent can do a good marketing campaign, get a lot of business, and be gone.
Yeah, and be gone, or just keep getting a lot of business. The town is big enough where you can recycle through clientele and have new clientele all the time. 70% of our business comes from referrals from actual former clients, and so that's the best testament we can have. We also happen to represent numerous judges, and that should say everything. Not to mention the court staff often refers to us, and they watch every lawyer in this arena. So it doesn't get higher as far as compliments go, but everyone else can fool you for a long time until it catches up with you. And we haven't had the young ones in town long enough. And some of them will soar to the top. I mean, we all started in the beginning. We all started sort of in the bottom to get back to the top. It takes a long time to do it. Bless them. I hope more come, because certainly the older ones are retiring and dying, sadly. So there's room in the market for more. I welcome them. And I welcome ethical, hardworking attorneys that do due diligence, but I'm seeing less and less of those, and it's unfortunate because families matter and the judges matter, and we are dealing with the most important commodity there is, children.
All right, let's take a break. We'll come back and we'll explore this a little further. More with Marilyn York when we come back.
Tamarack Tamarack Junction is South Reno's hotspot with over 450 of the latest slots and video games. Sully Sports Bar, the Dining Car Restaurant, William Hill Sportsbook, and the Tamarack Steakhouse and Lounge. We're just north of the Summit Mall in South Virginia.
Yeah.
Because of UMC, there's a wide open road ahead of me.
Because of UMC, she can grow up with her twin sister.
Because of UMC, I'm here to help you.
UMC, the highest level of care in Nevada.
Hi, I'm Erik Robnett, owner of Home Energy Experts. Has this ever happened to you?
Honey, did you remember to turn down the thermostat?
Forgetting to set the temperature? Not fun. We can help. Our new smart thermostat keeps the temperature set for your comfort all by itself.
I'm feeling hot now.
To increase your comfort, go to homeenergyexperts.com for details. That's homeenergyexperts.com.
The signs and symptoms of cataracts can start out small with subtle changes in your vision. So don't wait. Be proactive and take your vision into your own hands. If you're experiencing the onset of cataracts or just have questions, contact your eye care professional or call Eye Care Associates of Nevada today. Dr. Hiss has years of experience specializing in the surgical correction of eye disorders and has completed over 84,000 vision correcting procedures. At Eye Care Associates of Nevada, we'll change the way you look at the world.
The Tamarack Junction Steakhouse is known for signature steaks, handcrafted cocktails, and world-class wines. Join us Thursdays and Friday nights from 4:30 to 6:30 in the Steakhouse Lounge for live music, gourmet plates, and well-priced wines, just north of the Summit Mall on South Virginia.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we continue our conversation with men's rights attorney Marilyn York. You know, there's a different Marilyn York sitting here at this table today. You know, we haven't really
Angry
sat
girl?
and visited. Well, serious. I mean, normally you would be looking for many, many humorous ways to tackle the topics that we're talking about, and you are redirecting every question to a serious side. Was there a pivot point that made you feel this way? Because this is obviously not something that's brand new.
I just feel more serious because I'm concerned about the way our local community is going, both in my profession that's a for-profit business and also in my nonprofit. I'm constantly up against frustration that the community says they want quality and then they hire non-quality and they fall down rabbit holes for pretty advertising without doing their homework. And this is a town you can do your homework in so easily if you really want content. You know, if you're going to give to a charity, physically go to the space and look, you know, if they're helping homeless people. Are they helping them become better? I mean, in the biblical sense, it's like, are you teaching a man to fish or feeding him for a day? We're feeding him for a day, over and over and over and over and over, and expecting what? You know, we spend $8 million and a charity locally opens a shelter and that shelter's closed within a year and no one notices, and we're still giving that charity money? Where'd the shelter go? You know? And what is the shelter's purpose? Does it have programming? Are we actually trying to get the people out and self-supporting, or are we just going to keep feeding them and do a bird feeder system where they never get better? Similar in family court. You know, if you want a quality attorney, you don't hire your drinking buddy or the person you're sleeping with that's cheating on their spouse with you. Like, that is not who your attorney is. And then we have trouble filling.
And you're seeing this?
I'm seeing it constantly. And I don't drink at all. And I can tell you which attorneys drink at lunch and which attorneys vape marijuana and which attorneys use Xanax to go to court. And I do not use anything. So if they're telling me, they're telling everyone, listen to what they're saying. Look at their Facebooks. Like, what are they doing all night? Are they partying and bragging about the margarita that's the size of their, dog? Is that who you want to be your attorney? If you're getting a divorce because your wife has a substance abuse problem and then you hire the attorney that's worse than your wife, I mean, I just feel bad for people, and I don't think it's their fault, but it really does not take much effort to find out who people really are, and people want to complain about judges. Complain all you want, but the judges we have are professional. Do they have their problems, or they make rulings that we don't like sometimes? Of course, I'm the first one to get mad, but none of them are out drinking in bars all night or, sleeping around or taking Xanax to sit on the bench currently. We've had our problems in the past,
Yes,
Sam.
we have.
And everyone knows it because that's very public. But the attorneys are that way. I mean, where's the integrity in our profession? Where's keeping people honest? This town is small enough where we can figure it all out and we're just pushing it under the rug, or we don't value what really matters anymore.
All right, but okay, so you've been an attorney for
19
years. Okay, so was it different when you first started to what it is now?
Yes, for sure, because I was the young one. And the people above me were the serious old attorneys. They took their jobs so seriously, in my opinion, too seriously. They weren't fun to be around ever. All they did was talk about family law and philosophize about this law or that law and go to retreats and talk about family law some more. I mean, they're scholars. They're, the learned. They don't sit on Facebook all day. It didn't even exist. They don't sit on Pinterest all day. They weren't on Instagram. They didn't exist. They read, learned treatises, and I didn't. I'm not as serious as them. And I thought perhaps they took it too far. Did they drink a lot? Oh, probably. Did they sleep around? Sure. But at least they were at their core, super educated, took it very seriously, believed that what we did made a huge difference. Family law, unfortunately, by its nature, attracts people that think they can do every kind of law. They're like, we do a little criminal, and we do a little immigration, and we do a little family law. Like it's not serious. It's really serious.
Okay, but wasn't part of that spread coming from the recession, where various entities dried up in terms of business, and so attorneys were looking for different fields to specialize in because the ones that they had dealt with weren't working, or when there was an immigration crackdown and the attorneys could not do anything to help these clients, they were having to look for other places?
I would say that's what it should have been, and that would make sense. And certainly civil law transfers to family law. It's just civil law, in fact. But I haven't seen that. The attorneys doing what we do are new. They're young and they're new and they just got out of law school, or they just became law clerks and they decided they can just go out on their own and do it. And so they just chose it. I don't see anyone from other areas of law coming over and doing it. I haven't seen that. And it's smart if they do. And like bankruptcy sort of dried up, for example, when the economy got better. Good for us. I'm glad we're doing well. Like you said, immigration. I have not seen one bankruptcy attorney or one immigration attorney start doing family law. I have, however, seen the dabblers that come in and can do everything suddenly, and they just hire an associate for a month or 3 months or 6 months that happens to know how to do something, so they advertise in that. And then that guy quits, and so suddenly we're family law experts. Wait, that guy quit, now we do DUIs. I mean, those are the people I'm seeing, and they're young. They haven't had other practice. They're just trying to find their way, and that's cool. I respect that. But be really good at something. It's really important. Be really good at DUIs. Be really good at criminal. Be really good at immigration. It's crucial for the clients that you serve, and I personally don't think that you can do everything really well.
All right, so then that leads to another concern, and I can compare this to the news business. 30-odd years ago, we started expanding the number of newscasts per day. And the number of people who were around when I first started, back in the late 1800s, who actually knew what they were talking about as far as news, and you could go to and sit down and talk to and say, hey, give me advice on, is this fair, is this accurate, those people became rarer and rarer because we had such an expanded news product. Then the people who were starting out in Reno and other places coming to Reno ended up at the cable networks and the national networks, and they didn't know anything in Reno, and they certainly don't know anything at the new levels that they are at. They are attractive, well-spoken, but depth of knowledge, I'm not so sure. Do you have the same fear about attorneys who become judges rising up in the ranks, and now you're seeing them in appellate courts and district courts and senior levels?
I have that concern, absolutely, and I find what you say to be true. And if people are good listeners, they can take the lead of the expert they're interviewing and still sound somewhat competent, unless you're someone like you that knows the depth of all, and then you see the holes.
Oh, you flatter.
No, it's true. But in the judge world, I absolutely see it. We've been really fortunate to protect our family court so far. Our most recent appointment is Tamitha Schreiner. She's brilliant. She has huge family law experience. I'm really excited about what she's bringing to the family court. Similarly, Dixie Grossman, who came just prior to her, amazing experience. But the people that put in and competed with these two for appointments were a huge gamut of very competent to completely incompetent and unfounded. And fortunately, the committee has been putting 3 names up to the governor, and the governor's chosen well. But it is very scary to see who's putting in, and we just got a new department assigned to us, and I know Vegas, I believe, got several new departments. My understanding is Vegas is a hot mess in the family court, and we're lucky that we've been able to protect it as we have. But there is great concern that as the pool gets bigger, we have another position that we're going to start seeing some of these people that have been putting in time and time again be put up. And it's going to be horrendous. You know, I mean, Judge Humke was in and on the bench and lost his seat, which I've never even seen.
It was the most frightening thing I have ever witnessed.
And I liked him. Like when I was in front of him, which was hundreds of times, he had a lovely bedside manner. He tried really hard. He really cared about families. He just took too long to make decisions. He wasn't strong in his opinion. He didn't have the background to make, you know, informed decisions. They tried to send him to the Judicial College. Don't ask me why, but you go to the Judicial College months after you sit on the bench. Like, we're a little late. I think we kind of need to do that before you put him on the bench. But they can only learn so much so fast, and his learning curve was not steep enough, and he didn't make decisions fast enough, and he had a staff member that didn't belong there that stayed way too long, who literally deleted requests for submissions, so everything didn't happen. It had huge negative fallout on, you know, real people and real lives, and that was sad. And yet, like I said, there were some qualities about him that were great, but he took the fall in hard. And I appreciate the community and the judiciary taking that position seriously, because it is. It is really important.
And I think that your description of former Judge Humke is very kind, because I think you could be a lot more brutal, and you chose not to be.
No, I would. I'm not trying to be anyone's friend. I genuinely, and when I say it, it reflects the opinion of my whole firm.
I've just never seen somebody thrown out like that.
Me either.
For total incompetence. But let's take a break. We'll come back more with Marilyn York after this.
Dimitri Prine here for Design Outdoor. Are you a homeowner who's interested in remodeling or building a home? At Design Outdoor, we can show you how adding natural or manufactured masonry stone can add beauty and value to your home. And we refer only the best contractors. Our store and backyard are located at 11600 South Virginia, just north of DeMonte Ranch Parkway. Visit designoutdoor.com or call us at 851-9499.
Hey guys, are you watching the game at a friend's or the bar again because you can't watch at home with your wife? Or worse, because she kicked you out and kept your couch, your flat screen, and your kids? What's the one thing a man needs when he loses a good woman? A good lawyer. And when he loses a bad woman, he needs a great lawyer. What makes a good woman a bad woman? You tell me. You're the one that can't watch the game in your own home. I'm men's rights attorney Marilyn York, and I represent men in divorce, custody, and family law matters.
Hi, I'm Dave Newman. Remember me? I used to be the house detective, and now I'm a realtor full-time at RE/MAX Realty Affiliates. A lot of people ask me, how's the market? You know what? It's fantastic. If you're even kicking around the idea of buying or selling, give me a call. Let's talk about it. Call me at RE/MAX Realty Affiliates and just ask for the guy who used to be the house detective, Dave Newman.
Everyone is talking about opioids, but they're not the only drugs that can be harmful if taken in large quantities or not as prescribed. You also need to be aware of side effects from anxiety drugs, muscle relaxants, sleep aids, and stimulants. Mixing prescription drugs with other drugs or alcohol can be dangerous. If you take an Ambien with a glass of wine, it may be enough to stop you from breathing. Prescribed drugs can be just as dangerous as illegal drugs. Take medications only as directed.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we continue our conversation with men's rights attorney Marilyn York. Wanted to ask you about judges. There's a lot of talk over the years that judges get special treatment. Either they or their families get special treatment in court. Isn't that almost obvious?
I hope they do. Like, I literally hope they do. We are parents, and I know every parent that is watching this program, and you included and me as well, would do anything for our children if they're in harm's way, including trying to pull privilege, you know? I mean, my kids can get divorced whenever they want. Lucky them. You know, whatever gifts we can bestow on them, we will, within the ethical bounds. I say that within the ethical bounds, and again, to keep the public safe. I mean, we're not for sale to the degree if someone's killing babies, a judge should hide that under the rug. But can you get some things through the system better or faster or quieter? If you're a judge, I hope so, and I think you can. And as long as the public's not in danger, yeah, of course they do. they earned their rank. It's a huge privilege to be a judge, and you're elected and you get reelected, and lawyers review their performance. They earn the rank they have. So with that comes people that want to help them and want to help their children, and hopefully successful people, generally speaking, have successful children. And when one falls off and isn't doing as well, people like to think that they can be reformed, just like we do every other person that goes down the path.
And we have seen this with mayors, with governors,
sure.
I mean, over and over. So it's not like this is something new.
It's too much in the celebrity world. We're all mad about all the people that get to rape people and get a slap on the wrist and go back to, Stanford or whatever school they committed the crime at. We're all sick of that. But that's not what we're seeing locally. Nobody's pulling games like that. Nobody's hurting people and getting away with it. I think they just need a little slack. I think they are just human like everyone else and want to help their children, get through.
All right. What we're going to do here is we are going to take a break. This is the whole show for today, but I want to talk to you about your TV show,
sure.
which everybody's excited about. And so let's take a break and we'll come back and we'll put you on another show and talk about that, because this has been the very serious Marilyn York today.
Angry girl.
A new side and a very interesting one. So thank you for doing this,
Appreciate
and we'll be right back. A bird's eye captures its surroundings at different heights. At Brian Culpa Photography, we can make your imagination soar over buildings, parks, cityscapes, and beyond. Brian's images tell the story and get the job done. If you need a new perspective to tell your story, contact Brian today. Brian Culpa Photography. Experience the bird's eye view at brianculpaphotography.com.
Hey, Dad? What are you learning? This place is great. Huh? You gotta try this.
Wow, this stuff is great. People are gonna love it.
Yes. Yes, they will.
St. Ives Florist, for every holiday and every special occasion. For romance. Custom home design. We have the largest selection of fresh flowers in northern Nevada. And we also offer a large selection of unique gift items. Come see me, Lori Ann, at St. Ives Florist, 700 South Wells Avenue, or call me at 333-9190.
Take a look at Pro Group Management and see how your workers' comp requirements can be met head-on. By taking a proactive approach, Pro Group can assure that your company is meeting or exceeding state and federal standards. As you move forward in your industry, Pro Group moves with you, simplifying regulatory tasks, clearing the way so you can get the job done and look to your future success. Pro Group Management, workers' comp that works for you.
You can now watch Nevada Newsmakers on YouTube. Subscribe to our Nevada Newsmakers channel. We'll see you on the next broadcast.